episode, I'm super excited to be able to share with you my meeting with Howard, who's the owner of a brand here on the Isle of Man called Open Face Racer. And I sat down with him and had a chat with him. A long, nice chat, calm, not an interview, a chat. And we talked about everything about the brand itself, the shop he's got here on the island, a little bit about himself, and also about the community and what's in the horizon for 2026 as well. I hope you guys enjoy this. I enjoy doing it, but if you have any comments, anything you want to say, make it down in the comments area, I guess, and I'll try to answer as many as I can. If you have any questions in regards to Open Face Racer, you can go on their website, openfaceracer.im, and have a question form filled in there for Howard to answer directly himself. He is kindly supporting my channel as well. So it felt only natural that I started with him as the first episode and the first chat. Now, saying that, this channel is mainly going to be actually about the scenic views on the Isle of Man. The weather is appalling. As we speak now, we got half a storm outside, and it's definitely not riding weather, let's just say that. The scenic views will come, drips and drops in January, February, but by March it should pick up, and you'll see far more rides going out with my own bikes. But for now, enjoy my chat with Howard, and I'll see you in a bit.
So my background and how I got into bikes are, I suppose it's quite typical of someone I'm 56 now, so I'm going back to the days in my teenagers was in the 80s. So I got into bikes as most of us did back then, just playing around on old bikes on people's bit of spare land. My mum had a little step-through thing, a little 50cc step-through thing that she bought from a catalogue, as you did back in those days, and I used to nick that and ride around on it and stuff like that. That was my first experience of bikes. And then I joined the Navy at 16, so I had a real gap from 16 till my early 20s, and then got back into biking when I was 23, 24. My wife, which was my girlfriend at the time, she actually, as part of her leaving, moving back into civilian life, and her leaving courses from the Navy, she actually put through and asked to go on a bike test course, and she did that and passed. And that left me with thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get left out here. So I went and did a course as well, and so passed my test first time, which was a lot simpler back in those days. And then we kind of both got back into the biking bug again and bought a 600 Yamaha XJN 600. Bright yellow thing from, I think it was a company called APS in Wells and in Somerset. And then that was when we got back into the biking bug, and we used to come, because our 80s family was from the Isle of Man, we would start coming up from Somerset. My first TT was 1992. My first TT on a bike was 1995, and then since then, obviously, been coming back as much as possible. But yeah, back in then, early biking days was travelling around the UK, going off to BSB events on the bike, weekends. We would use the bike. I would probably use the bike most days for commuting. And then when we moved to the Isle of Man, ironically, moving to the Isle of Man with a small family and starting off again, I didn't have a bike for a long time. I had access to bikes, which was great, so I could get on them, but I never actually owned a bike. So for 16 years, I was without my own bike until I got the Bonneville, which I've still got, back in 2016. I worked for Duke shortly after arriving on the island, and I worked for Duke for 8 years. So with working with Duke, I was still heavily involved in the biking, as apart from going to, we used to go to the bike show, to the London bike show, Ali Pally bike show, Scottish, Irish bike shows. So my year was revolved around these motorsport events and shows, and obviously TT on the Isle of Man was also very busy for Duke. So I was kind of working within the biking sort of community, if you like. It was just about me, fun, speed. When family comes along, something has to give.
Yeah.
we had 2 kids. Soon to have, nearly had, one child when we first came to, and then the other 2 were born while we were here. So the early 2000s, it was busy with life and other things. So the shop itself, as I mentioned earlier, we opened the shop in March 2023 on the back of the bit of success we'd had at local events, doing pop-up events just with the OFR brand, and as I say, we were starting to get lots of questions about where do I get my gear from, what and the brands that I was wearing, because I was wearing things like Rogue gear, Oxford gear, and it was more sort of like the jeans and the casual jackets and things, and the open face helmets. Bizarrely, I've always thought I even get people coming from the UK looking at my range of open face helmets and saying there's very few places in the UK that carry this amount of open face helmets. But again, that's something that we've consciously done to make us stand out from other companies. And being on the Isle of Man as well, there's no point in just copying what somebody else has done. There's a small amount of people. You need to offer them something different. There's no point in offering just copying somebody else. I think that's just ridiculous. We felt that there was a need for niche and doing something different, so we do different things. I'll still like to think that we are very much an alternative to your standard dealership clothing range, if you like. So 2023 we opened up. We just had Oxford. We had a few bits and pieces from some other brands, and that really was to meet that perceived need for more casual, relaxed, retro styling products. 2023 was good for us. We went from March, was very close to TT. People said to us about, well, you're a bit isolated here, but to be honest, we get good foot flow through from the grandstand to the prom at TT when the weather's good. We were quite happy with the organic growth of just letting it flow and just seeing where it went. And yes, we would make some decisions, and some things that worked we wouldn't do, we would carry on with, and some things that didn't we would stop doing. But over the years, we've built up a good kind of off-island clientele that will actually now seek us out and want to come and visit us. We become part of their TT to-do list, if you like. And each year, I say, we add to the range. We brought Merlin in for this year's kind of brand, but we're always bringing in lots of little bits and pieces from other brands and other things that I think, that works, that sits with us as well, sits within what we're trying to do. So we're not all the same. So if somebody comes in 6 months ago, when they come in now, they might see something different. So it's not all exactly the same. So it's not as if it's like you go there once and you've seen it and done it and you have to go back again. And I think you have to do that to keep things fresh. Trends change as well, styles change as well. The shop works well for us. We've got a good local base of customers that know what we are. We still get people coming to us. Happens this week, happened the other day. First time they've come in, seen the adverts on social media for months and months, keep meaning to come here, and it's the first time we're coming. So we still do get a lot of first time visitors locally. We haven't got any plans to move, not for a while. The building kind of works for us as well. Because it was in the old bakery, this old style of building works with our look as well. So we're very happy with where we are at the moment. When you come to OFR, that's why we've got the couches and we do the coffee and things like that. It's not about just coming and buying a jacket. It's about the experience of potentially meeting other bikers here, and we sit and chat. You know what it's like. You come here, you meet somebody, you sit and chat, and you talk about things. You talk about biking. You have a coffee while you're walking around, or just while your partner or whatever. You sit down, have a coffee while someone's trying gear on. Having the shop dressed as it is, so it doesn't just look like a high street shop. It's got some character. The bikes we ride have character about them. They've got some age to them. They've got some stories about them. That's what we're trying to create in this space. It becomes a, without sounding too cliche, it's an experience rather than just a process. At the end of the day, I'm selling a product. Yes, I'm selling a product, but I'm not just selling I could sell anything. If you wanted to make money, you would just go, what does everybody need? This is something I'm passionate about, something that I learn about. I've had a steep learning curve in regards to learning about the safety side of the product, not just the look of it. We're learning about the brands, what their manufacturing ethoses and processes are. In my head, nobody should leave here with something in the bag unless they're really happy with what they've bought, they're really happy with the experience, and they're really happy that they know what they bought is the right thing for them. I love it when people come in and they try things on and they talk about, and they ask me questions and they talk about things, and they go away and they'll try something different on. And I always do say to that, you might like that jacket, but try that one and on that one as well, because you might find when you try those on that it suits you better, it feels better, or whatever it is, and then you can make that choice. Then you can make a better choice when the options are explained to you, you've tried them on, and then you come to make your purchase. You've made that purchase as well as based on emotion. There's some substance to it as well. I like to chat to people, I like to talk, I like to converse, I like to understand who my customers are, what they actually need, and where they're coming from in their biking journey, where they are in their life. Are they experienced? Are they inexperienced? Do they ride, I don't know, a Harley? Do they ride an Enfield? I like to know. I like to understand my customers, and I think if you understand your customers as well, you can give them a better service. The community social nights are not a long thought out process to start these. It was by just talking to people coming in the shop like yourself and lots of other customers that have now become friends and have become regulars. But understanding the people that you come in to do that, you've got to take them on a different level than being a customer. Every transact, every sale, everybody that comes in and goes out with something gives me a buzz. And it doesn't matter whether you bought one thing from me, 10 things from me, or whatever. And they say whether you've come in and buy a £2 fridge magnet or a £200 jacket, every sale means something to me. I think you can only be who you are, and I try and make people as comfortable as they can when they come into my environment. And the only way I can do that is being smiley, polite. You listen, you talk, and treat everybody the same. Because if you treat to me again, it's like if you treat everybody the same, life becomes easy. Because if you try and over egg somebody or you ignore, and you just if you like this, that's just hard work. If you're just consistent and the same, you don't have to try. You're not putting on an act. You're just being you, aren't you? As I say, 2026, we are looking to expand on the brands that we've got within the shop. I'm looking at some other brands at the moment that I think will work well and sit within what we do and on the OFR perceived brand. So we'll have expansion of products and brands. The bike social nights will evolve into something different for the summer. What it is, I don't know yet. It might be more, again, casual bike. I'm not going to do ride outs. They're a little bit more complicated to organise and sort out. But we could do summer bike nights, and hopefully people can turn up on the bikes and we can do something. But we might just do them once a month, and obviously over TT and things, people are doing other things, so it might be maybe just 2 or 3 summer events, but maybe slightly more substance to them. Hoping to work with Isle of Man motorcycles and the like, to put on events maybe and do some things with them, but again, collabs and things like that, we will always listen to people. There was I can't really mention it at the moment, but there was somebody I was talking to on the last social night. They've got a business on the Isle of Man, and that what they do and what we could do in regards to social evenings and bring the 2 tribes together or the clans together would work in a bike night scenario. And we'll just continue to grow the brand. It'll happen organically. I am talking to a company in the UK that has a number of motorcycle branches in the UK, to get my stock into the UK. So hopefully the OFR stuff will become more ready available in the UK. We are 90% done on that deal. So that will be good. That was some emails going back and forwards this week with a firm agreement to get the deal done in the new year. So when that happens, that will be really, really good, because that then gives us a bit of flags, and that's another milestone in the OFR journey, really, of expanding the brand and things. So 2026. There'll be lots of small things, again, small steps, but we'll continue moving forward.
I told you. I mean, Howard is a brilliant guy to talk to in the first place. His knowledge is extensive, his passion is unlimited, and his brand is, well, in my humble opinion, it's pretty cool. I like it. It suits me and my type of riding anyway. So I really hope you enjoyed it too. And until next time, see ya.